Good morning, Floss Tube. This is Dina. I am just about to leave my home to go to a stitching meetup here near where I live that Talia has set up. Her channel is covered in cat hair. And we are meeting together today with several other stitchers from the local area in Atlanta. I believe Lori, Organic Granny, is supposed to be coming. And a couple of people who aren't floss tubers who live in Atlanta are supposed to be driving down today to meet with us, and we're going to stitch all day. I'm so excited. And I'm even more excited, I guess you could say, or equally excited, that I have a finish. I have finally finished Smoky Mountain Christmas. I finished the beading this morning. So I'm going to turn the camera around here. I'll pause and turn it around and I'll show you Smoky Mountain Christmas with all of its beads and everything. So I think it turned out really pretty. I can't wait to get it framed. So I'm going to share it with you and then I'm going to head out for my stitching meetup. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful time stitching, that you're getting finishes if that's what you're after, or you're enjoying the process. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. I know I will. Happy stitching. Now, we'll look at the finish. Okay, this is Smoky Mountain Christmas. This is how it looks, kind of all of it together. This is what will be framed, and of course once I get it back from the framers I'll share it with you again. But I wanted to go through a little bit and tell you some pros and cons and things I've learned doing this piece. I guess the first thing to say is that the pattern, the Smoky Mountain Christmas pattern here, I got mine from Cross My Heart Ink. I got it at Dixie Darlin years ago and had it in my stash for many, many years before I stitched it. Anyway, you can tell a difference in the pattern at how light that sky is compared to mine. So the first thing I'll share with you is that I didn't read the pattern very well. I didn't understand why there were color guides in the front and the back that had the same colors on them. I didn't realize that part of them were to be half stitches, especially in the sky. So, unfortunately, my sky is somewhat darker than the one in the picture. But lucky for me, sometimes accidents like that have a way of turning out really well. And I really like mine. It's more of a dark winter sky and looks like it might be more at night. So I enjoyed that. I like it, and it went just fine. So I lost maybe a little bit of shading in the sky, but not much. You can still see all the trees around as they go, and you can see even in the end over here, you can see the little trees that are in the background. So I think it turned out just fine. Okay, so the other things I learned about this piece is that it would have been fabulous had I gridded it. This is a piece I should have gridded because when it got time to place all these beads, all those little white beads for the snowflakes, they're even down here in the white, in the linen. So, what does that tell you? I had to count, or I had to just get to the point where I said, forget it, I'll put it in the approximate area. So, over here, I counted. As I moved across here, this is easy where you have stitching because your holes were available for you because you had stitched around them. But then when I got over here, oh my goodness. As I went this way, all the white up in here, and all the white around here, and down under here, I approximated. It looks fine. The idea is there anyway. I do love this picture. It's quite pretty. And even the snowflakes across the bears and the Santa's coat, it just gives you that feeling that you're outside in the snow. So anyway, I just think it's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And the back stitching on this, I'm so glad that I did it a little bit as I went along, because it just really does make this picture. The only thing back stitched is this front section where you're in the forefront of the picture. But can you imagine this coat without the back stitching? It defines all the quilt patterns in the coat, every one of them. And this toy bag and the toys, they were just a blob of color until the back stitching. And the little basket and the sleigh, it just made it. It makes this picture. So I know it's a pain to do because it's sort of monotonous, but I just bit the bullet and did sections of it as I went, and I'm really glad I did. So I think that was very important. Another thing I wish I had done a little differently, the whisper thread in the beard and hair and on this little lamb here, I wish I had done last, because I had a real time trying to make sure I didn't catch either of those in my Q-snap. And as I moved over in this direction, I wound up having to get a smaller, and I'm sorry about that break. My camera ran out of space. So as I was saying, as I moved in this direction, I had to keep going to a smaller and smaller Q-snap so that I didn't capture this whisper thread, because I didn't want to crease it or flatten it or anything like that. But anyway, I wanted to share with you my finish. I wanted to give you a little bit of a close-up of it, and I just absolutely love it. One of the things I wanted to share with you was this face. Isn't that the sweetest face? Love it. Just love the way this picture turned out. I think this little portion right here was one of the first things that caught my eye. And then, of course, because it's in the Smoky Mountains, the black bears pulling the sleigh were just precious. So I hope you've enjoyed this finish. I know a lot of you have been encouraging me and watching me as we progressed from the beginning to the end. And I will encourage all of you that are in the Smoky Mountain Christmas Sal group to keep on keeping on. You actually do make it at some point. Oh, thank you so much for your support throughout that. Hello everyone, this is Dina, and I am here to talk to you about my Stitch Mania plans. This year I'm going to dive a little deeper into Stitch Mania. Last year was the first year I participated, and I had 5 starts, and that was pretty scary for me because that was my first year ever participating, and I hadn't been watching FlossTube that long when that started. And I had just recently transitioned from a one project at a time person to a bit of a multiple project at a time person. So anyway, it was pretty challenging to get 5 starts in Stitch Mania last year. This year, I'm going to double that. I'm going to get 10 starts. Now, don't get too excited. They're very small. So my plans, as you know, this year have been to cross stitch ornaments. First of all, for my 4th of July tree, which I've been working on. But the second phase of ornaments that I wanted to do are for my Christmas tree, and that's been inspired by Vanna and her beautiful tree that she shared with us with all of her handmade ornaments. And I've decided that I have a small ornament tree. I'll fill it up this year, and then I'll start working to fill up my regular tree. But this is something I can do every year now going forward. So I got to thinking, what better way to get a good start on Christmas ornaments than to start them during Maynia. And I calculated it up that I could probably get a good start on each one if I started one every 2 days, every other day, instead of every day. And if I finished then 2 a month, I could get all of them done by October, which gave me a little bit of a cushion in November if I got behind on something. So I decided I would do 10 ornaments to fill up my little ornament tree. Now, the other thing I did is I went back and looked at all the starts I had last year to determine if I had any of them that I was still working on. And I do. I have 2. I started Firefly Fairies on the 1st last year. And as you know, I've been working on it, and I've kind of hit a struggle with it. Now I've kind of got over that, and I'm ready to get back into it pretty heavily. So on the 1st, I will be stitching on Firefly Fairies because that's what I started on the 1st last year. And since it's not done, I'll work on it some on the 1st. The second one that I haven't finished is Sleeping Beauty, and I started it on the 12th of May last year. So on the 12th of May this year, I'll be working on Sleeping Beauty. Other than that, they're all new starts. So I did finish 3 of the 5 last year, and the 2 I didn't finish because they're large, and I've been working on them, but it's just going to take a little while to get them done. So what are the 10 ornaments I'm going to do? Well, I'll share those with you now. The first 3 ornaments are out of this book, Something for Every Season. It's a Leisure Arts publication, and I've done several things out of here. I did the Easter bunny that was the centerpiece of my basket that you saw recently. It came from this book, and several other things I've done out of this book. But for Christmas, I have 3 ornaments that I'm going to do. Turn this so you can't see the pattern. And these are the 3. So on the 2nd of May, I'll start with Good Tidings of Great Joy. This one right here. And then on the 4th, I'll be stitching For Unto Us a Child is Born. And that's over here. And then Glory to God in the Highest, which is the one at the top. Now, these should stitch up fairly quickly. I would love it if I could finish these in the 2 days that I'm working on them. I don't know, but I'm going to try. Anyway, that's the first 2 days, or first 3 starts for Maynia. Then the next one that I'm going to do is out of this Better Homes and Gardens Cross Stitch Christmas. And this is, let me see if there's a month on here. Don't see one. Display until October 10th, 2000. It's a 2000 magazine. But I'll try to cover the pattern that's at the bottom of the page here. But I'm going to do 2 of these 3 little penguins. I think I'm going to do the 2 that are with the snowman. I think they're just really cute. And then in the background, I hope you can see that one. They're singing. And since my husband and I sing in our church choir, I thought that would be a really cute one for our tree. So I have 2 that I'm going to do. I'll start the singing penguins on the 8th of May, and the penguins with the snowman I'll start on the 10th of May. And then, as I said, on the 12th, I'll do Sleeping Beauty. So, on the 14th, I'm going to do one called Noel. And it's sort of what we call black work, but it's just, you know, the back stitching mostly. But I think it's so pretty. It's this one right here. You got your cross-stitched letters, and then you got all that beautiful black work around it to give it almost like a stained glass window effect. But they're just flowers, like little poinsettias. I think that will be really pretty. And I'm hoping that I can get that one done in a couple of days as well. Some of these I may be able to finish during the start, and I think that would help quite a bit. Okay, and then, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show you this book. This is the Big Book of Christmas Quickies. And it is wonderful. And I think I bought this years ago, but I have seen it still at Hobby Lobby and possibly Joann's as well. So you can still get it. And I will tell you what, this book is chock full of stuff that I love. I think I love every design in it. It's been wonderful. I'm going to do another trick that Vonna taught us all. And that is to take a portion of something that's meant for a bigger piece and make an ornament out of it. So I'm going to do that here, and I hope you can see this well enough. I'm trying to show you pictures without patterns, and you know, sometimes that's hard, as you know. But if you can see, there's a little snowman right there that says Joy. This is made for towels, as you can see, but I'm going to take the little snowman, I'm going to leave off the little checkerboard, and I'm going to take the word joy over here where you can see the whole word, and I'm going to use it either above or below and just make that a small ornament. So that's my little snowman, and that's what I'll start on the 16th. And then I have been admiring this piece for a long time, been wanting to do it, just hadn't had the occasion, I guess, where it was more important than something else. So when I decided to do ornaments for Stitch Mania, I knew this had to be one of them. And it's Joy right here. I just think that is lovely. I love the colors. I think it's just a different look. You know, with those little, those almost look like the hearts from the Valentine's candy. Just, except they're not in, you know, pastel colors. But I just think that's a very pretty picture. It's always caught my eye. Very few colors in it, but I think it'll be very pretty. And so that I will start on the 18th. So my Maynia will go through, starts through the 18th. And that's mainly because I put the two pieces back in that, you know, that I'm working on from last year, and I took 2 days to do that. So if I hadn't done that, I would have been just ending on the 15th. I would have been fine, but I think that's worth it to put those in and get some work on them on the days that they got started. So that was my idea. That was my plan. This is going to be very simple to do. I have done a lot of calculations on what size each of these ornaments will turn out to be. And for the most part, I'm going to be able to fit all of them on a 5x5 piece or a 4x5 piece or 4x4 piece of fabric. And so I looked in my stash, and I found I have white Ada. This is just one of those Charles Craft pieces. Got it at Hobby Lobby. And it's 18 count, which is what I was counting on. I was either going to do it on a, you know, piece of linen, 36 count or something, or I was going to do the 18 count. Unfortunately, I have this in my stash. I'm going to purchase another one of these just in case, because I don't want to run out. I don't want to be in the middle of starts and then say, oh, I miscalculated that. I only counted the border on 1/2 or something. And so I want to make sure I have plenty of room. So if I need another one, I'll have it. So that's my Stitch Mania plans. I think that will be a fun project to do. I think it'll go well, and I'm hoping it does anyway. And I'm looking forward to it. I've got all my threads pulled. I went ahead and pulled all the threads for every one of these ornaments. I'm just going to keep them together until, there they are. Isn't that pretty? I have Stitch Mania. Rather than a design name, it's just Stitch Mania. And that way I can keep all that together, and I can work on it through that whole 2 weeks. And then anytime I pull it back into my rotation, it'll all be there. And I think that'll be great fun. So I'm happy about that. And the other thing I wanted to share with you are a couple of things that had come in the mail. I had Happy Mail. I had a wonderful treat recently. I got a card from a friend I made at the stitching retreat last November in Sevierville. And isn't that pretty? This card has this little ornament attached to the front, and it has a hanger on it that you can take it off if you want to. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. So anyway, Joanna, thank you. Joanna is the young lady that I met, and we have been emailing each other on occasion and encouraging each other to work on projects and just checking in to see what you're working on, how things are going. And Joanna was so sweet. She sent me a note saying that she knows that I make a lot of gifts for people. And when she saw this at her local craft store, she thought of me, and she picked it up and she sent it to me. And these are little gift tags that say handmade, a handmade gift for you. And you can see it's got little X's where they're cross stitching, little buttons. Anyway, in addition to the cards, there are, I think, 3 in this pack. They're sort of thick, cardboard cards, so they'll be very sturdy. She bought me these pretty embellishments for borders and trim that she said I could pretty them up with. I got news for her. I think I'm saving these for my Christmas ornaments. Thanks, Joanne. I think these will be beautiful. I appreciate that so much. And the other thing that I got in my Happy Mail, I got a lovely gift from one of my postcard pals, Kathy Morrison. And she sent me a wonderful little surprise. And one of the things that was in my gift pack was a snag nevet. I'm so excited. A little snag nevet. She sent me that, and she sent me a beautiful floss. I'm sorry I'm looking away. It was on my desk here. Apologize for being absent there for a minute. This is a Gentle Arts thread called Mediterranean Sea. And I'm going to see if I can put something behind it so you can see the color. Isn't that beautiful? I've heard this color mentioned before by several of you that do mermaids, the Mirabeggia mermaids. But Kathy, thank you so much for your sweetness. You've been a great postcard pal. I appreciate it so much. She's been my postcard pal for Stitch from Stash, and so she helps me by sending me stuff from my stash. I like that. That's awesome. Anyway, thank you so much, both of you. And then yesterday, or recently, another friend of mine, and I didn't ask her permission, I should have, but I didn't think about it. I was too surprised. We got together to stitch, and she had seen a comment I made on a Facebook posting that someone showed their finish of something, and I said, oh, I love that. I'm going to have to find that pattern. Well, I hadn't even had a chance to go looking for it. I wasn't sure how old it was, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have to get it on eBay or if the stores would carry it, and I hadn't had a chance to look yet because I had been focused on working on Smoky Mountain Christmas for a while. So she just pulled it out of her to-go bag and said, are you looking for this pattern? And I said, oh, yes, where did you find it? And she said, in my stash. She'd had it about 20 years and hadn't stitched it yet. So she gave it to me. She wants me to stitch it. It's called The Stitcher. Isn't that beautiful? Now I have a question for you guys. I want your help. And especially Emily, Eclectic Possessions. Hello, if you're watching, Emily, I need your help because your color is phenomenal. I'm wanting to consider doing this in colors. Maybe just a few, because this is only 3 or 4 colors. But I think it might look nice in color. And I'm not so much a prim person, so I don't do a lot of the muted colors. The 4 Freedoms I'm working on is one of the first ones I've done that way. So I want to know what you guys think, color or not. And Emily, if you've got any ideas about what colors you would use, I'd really like to hear it, because I think you could rock this thing. So let me know. I would love to hear from you, your ideas on that. And my friend who gave that to me, you know who you are. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Okay, that's it for my Maynia plans, and that's it for my Happy Mail. So I just wanted to stop by and share those with you, since everybody's putting those up, and let you know what I'll be working on for Maynia. And in the meantime, you guys, happy stitching. Bye. Hello everyone, this is Dina. Today is Friday, April the 28th, and I'm here to wrap up my video for this month. I want to wrap it up by telling you a little bit about yesterday's stitching meetup that Talia, covered in cat hair, organized for us. Thanks, Talia. You did such a great job. We met at the Centerville Library in Warner Robins, Georgia, or in Centerville, which is in Warner Robins, Georgia. And we stitched from about a little after 10 until about 5:30 yesterday. We took a break and all had lunch together at one of our local restaurants, and then went right back to work. It was a great day. A lot of stitching, probably a lot of stitching for everybody that was there at the meetup. A lot of times it's more visiting than stitching, and yesterday we did both, and I think we got a lot of stitching in. At least I know I did. So I am excited to tell you that I got so much done yesterday at the stitching gathering that this morning, with only a couple of hours of work, I had another finish. It kind of shows you when you do a rotation and you're working on everything every month, you're going to have some that you finish at the same time, I guess. But anyway, my finish this morning is on 4 Freedoms. And this is just a delightful chart that I was doing to help be a major focal point for my 4th of July decorations this year. That's why I've been making all the ornaments for my ornament tree. And I intend to have this be a picture that I put on a little stand and put next to the tree, so it'll be in the same area. And here is my 4 Freedoms. It says freedom of speech, freedom of worship, and then at the bottom it says freedom from want and freedom from fear. So I'll back up now so you can kind of see the whole thing. I did this on 28 count cashel linen, and the colorway is Ale. It's a Picture This Plus fabric, and it is just beautiful. I love it, and I think it just suited this piece tremendously. Very muted colors. Really, really like this piece. So now I've got 2 pieces that I have to fully finish. And as Melody will say, Melody was there with us yesterday at the stitching meetup, Melody Adams, and she said, do you have anything at home that you haven't fully finished, that you finished stitching? And I said no, and then I realized today as I was looking through, I do have my 4th of July ornaments that need to be fully finished, but I am purposely waiting until I have them all done because I want to finish them all the same way. So until I see what all I have, I might not know exactly what color backing I want or something of that nature, but they are in process. So they haven't been waiting too long, Melody, but I do have a few that I haven't fully finished yet. So I hope you guys have had a great month. I have already shared my Maynia plans, so when I get off the video here, I will be giving my craft room a thorough cleaning and straightening from all the flurry of finishing I've been doing as far as these last stitches and beading and all that. I have beads over here and threads over here. So, you know, I have to straighten up before I can really get started with Stitch Mania. But I am excited about it starting on May 1st, and I will be getting my fabrics prepared and ready and go from there. So tomorrow I have a treat. Tomorrow I am going to try to Skype with Becky Saunders in California. She's the Obsessed Stitcher, and she has invited a couple of us that she met at the retreat in Indiana to Skype with her and stitch with her Saturday, because she's organized a stitching meetup of people there in California. And so this way we will be able to join in on their stitching meetup, at least via Skype. So I'm hoping we get it to work out. I'm not great with technology, so I'm going to try, since I've Skyped a couple of times with a couple of you guys. I hope that I can. So give me warm wishes for that it would be successful, and then I would get to enjoy talking with Becky again and hopefully meeting some more stitchers from California. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, that you get lots of stitching done and some finishing maybe, and that I will talk to you again next month. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye.